My name is Aubin, and I am Bruin Pride. I have to remember that when we first came, the LGBT community wasn't even included in a discrimination or non-discrimination statement. That we had faculty, junior faculty, assistant professors who did not have tenure, who were deathly afraid of coming out, faculty who would not think of doing research on LGBT matters because it just wasn't done. It wasn't acceptable. And so a great deal of fear, apprehension, and the students, I didn't really pick up with students probably till the mid-70s. I was simply finding myself as a professional person as well. And, but at that time, trying to think, I was amazed when, this was a few years later, but not that much later, when Peter Thorslev, whose name isn't recognized sufficiently on campus. Peter was a professor of English who became chair of the English department. And when he met with the individuals who were going to approve his selection as chair of the department, he told them that he would be entertaining guests at home, UCLA guests, and that his partner would be present. So it was a way of him coming out, and which was quite dramatic on campus. I think that was one of the first acts where someone was coming out that, and I believe, someone would have to check me on this, that Peter probably taught the very first LGBT class. I'm not sure, but I think that he had created a class. I think with the LGBT activities community on campus, that it is extremely positive. I am concerned about institutionalizing certain factors. When I spoke to a group to get the Committee on LGBT Affairs instituted reporting to Chris Littleton, it was to institutionalize the committee and to institutionalize it within the framework of UCLA, and also to pull together, keep people informed, because part of the positive is that there are so many activities now with the LGBT Campus Resource Center, the Williams Center, the LGBT Minor. There are so many excellent programs and activities going on, but we want to be sure that people know what the other person is doing. And so I think it is much better, but I think that we still have to be concerned about the future. Starting way back in 1989, I believe, was when Ray Lizaporin, who was then director of undergraduate admissions, invited a group of people to her home in the Valley. And I had known Ray Lees, and she knew me. I'm not sure. I walked into Ray's home and saw people that I was pleasantly surprised. Contrary to what maybe general public thinks, that not all gays and lesbians are identifiable. And seeing certain people, I'm saying, oh. And then, of course, people came to me and said, I didn't know. And it's a little confusing because, remember, I was married and I have children, grandchildren. And we met at Brayley, then we met a second time, and then we met on campus, which sounds like nothing today. So we had a meeting on campus. But to be out and announce what we were doing and who we were was quite powerful. And when we started sharing our stories, we felt strong. And then the support. Again, we had a community sharing concerns. And along with that, Kurt Shepard, who was a doctoral student in the Graduate School of Education, Kurt was involved with the National Gay Lesbian Task Force and working with Tom Lifka, who was an assistant vice chancellor. When he retired, Tom was an associate vice chancellor. A very strong supporter of LGBT. And Kurt created a proposal that all of us had worked on, but it was Kurt's concept. And it went, and a group created it, Tom delivered it to Murphy Hall administration, and it was approved. Now, part of it was, at the time, too, Chuck Young, who was chancellor, from day one was a strong supporter, as he was of every underrepresented group on campus. And Chancellor Young deserves a great deal of credit, because when we were working on creating the network, we were also facing ROTC issues. This is before any of the recent rulings, where we had gay and lesbian students bounced out of ROTC, losing scholarship. And Chancellor Young found scholarship money for those students. There are a lot of things that have gone by that haven't been codified, they haven't been written, that I'm going through many files and papers reminding me of these things. A young woman who was came out as a lesbian and was thrown out of ROTC, but she still had her scholarship. And and the center was established, and as we always say, we were fortunate, but we got a closet in Haynes Hall, and it still worked. And then, of course, we grew and were able to get into Kinsey, which is now the Humanities Building. You know, we do name changes. And then when we came to this space, which is now getting a little small, and which speaks to the success of the program. The LGBT studies minor is always interesting because there were not sufficient faculty members who had a strong interest. Oh, I shouldn't say that. There were a sufficient number of faculty members who felt comfortable creating the proposal for the minor. And Peter Hammond, who was a professor in anthropology, sort of coordinated the efforts, but many staff members were involved in assisting him. Creating a minor, anything within the academic world, is a faculty role, a faculty decision. But there were many of us who simply assisted the faculty to ensure that the minor was completed. Bruin Pride, for me, is gratitude. People ask me why I am involved in many activities benefiting the university. I'm grateful for the opportunities that have been given to me. I'm hoping that I've been able to pay it forward. But gratitude is one. Pride, Bruin Pride, bursting at the seams because there's so much to be proud of.